Okay, in this video I want to talk about what I'm now calling continuity cross-check rules. Okay, I used to call these fundamental accounting concept relations rules. Everybody else calls them FAC. But it's basically where I started in constructing this entire method for keeping XBRL-based reports correct. So what the continuity cross-check rules do is they check for inconsistencies and contradictions. And like I said, it was the basis for my initial quality tests, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So some examples of fundamental continuity cross-check rules are things like assets equals liabilities and equity. Assets equals current assets plus non-current assets. Gross profit equals revenues minus cost of revenues. So I'm going to only provide a quick overview of what these rules are. I'm going to do another video on the details at some point later on. But this is just to help you understand, get your head around what these rules, what a continuity cross-check achieves. So first, my MBA is in world-class manufacturing techniques. This is in 1980s. Today they call it Lean Six Sigma. But back then it didn't really have a name. They just called it world-class manufacturing techniques. And basically what I just naturally do is apply these techniques to accounting processes. And apparently other accountants don't. So there's a lot of information about the cost of quality. And people, they don't measure the cost of errors correctly. But there's this 1, 10, 100 rule, which you can see here. I'm not going to go over it in detail. Basically, errors cost money. Errors cost money. So the Microsoft 10K has about 2,235 facts. 1% error rate is 22 errors. A 0.01 error rate is 2 errors. And you can see here. So Six Sigma is 0.0034% errors. That's what I strive for, Six Sigma. That's what all these rules are about. So basically a consistency cross-check rule checks something like this. I'm just going to go over this. I'm going to go over this and not provide the details. I'll provide the details later. But basically, there's an error in this report. This is not Microsoft. This is somebody else. The balance sheet says one thing, and the segment disclosure says something different. So what had happened was, while the concept, the total non-current assets is not reported, they used that concept that they would have used on the balance sheet erroneously to report long-lived assets in the segment disclosure. Okay, finding this can be a nightmare unless you have automated processes. So my process finds this error no problem. But this is the kind of thing that the continuity cross-checks point out. Contradictions and inconsistencies in reported facts. Accounting errors. So here are 21 rules. Most reports have about 21 rules that apply. So different reporting styles have different sets of concepts. I think that's true. I don't know if you can get this down into one complete set of rules that is universal for every report. You have to identify what style they use, I believe. I could be wrong about that. So here, all these rules are correct. This is the Microsoft 10K. And Microsoft not only got that one report correct, they got every SEC filing that they submitted, all 41 of them, in the past 10 or so years, correct. Okay? This is the goal. This is the goal. But that's not what everybody's doing. So by 2019, almost 90% of reports were 100% correct. Okay, so of the 22 relationships, none were violated. Okay, that's a pretty strong testament to the correctness of those rules. So here are those rules. You can see there's none where a company, there's one 97.96%. So I'm right 97.96% of the time. So that's 5,000 some odd entities. There's 130 that are inconsistent. I've actually verified each one of these inconsistencies. I did that in order to perfect my rules. So there's about 900? I don't remember exactly. 800? I don't remember. I can see that. 962 errors. And I've looked at every one to make sure that I'm not wrong. And that adds to the quality of the errors and the quality of the processes. So basically, so between 2019 and 2016, so you can see 2019 on the right, 2016 on the left, quality went from 81% to 86% in 2017 to 88%, and it was at 89, almost 90% by 2019. So people are definitely fixing the mistakes, and so they're agreeing with the mistakes. When it first started, there were only 58% of companies got their all 21 consistency checks correct in their report, and that is now at 90% of all reports filed. So what kind of errors? So here's what they're doing. What's happening here is that this filer has reversed these concepts. So the consistency cross-check finds that. They should have used this concept on that line item and this concept on that line item. These guys reversed the fact values. They used a positive number when they should have used a negative number. Okay? These guys simply used the wrong concept. They used other comprehensive income instead of the comprehensive income concept. These two facts are related to each other. One is positive, one is negative. That's impossible. So the continuity cross-checks found that error. So here's that first one I showed you. And what's going on is, here it computed this value for non-current assets because it found that concept in the report. It wasn't associated with the balance sheet. If it was, then it would have been, a different value. But they used the concept assets non-current. They should have been using the concept non-current assets right here. And, is it a little odd that these two concepts even exist? It's like, yeah, but they do. And this is the kind of mistake that these continuity cross-checks find. So I've got hundreds and hundreds of examples, of high-quality examples, if you want to look. Just search on examples of errors in XBRL-based digital financial reports. You'll find this page. And then you'll be able to look at more details if you're interested. Anyway, that's what continuity cross-check rules do.